So let's start with my introduction. So my profile, I'm Chiranjeevi Kudupudi. So I have knowledge about Excel and macros and Access as well, and totally I have 5 years experience. And today we are going to discuss about the macros training. So how to start the macros and the VB script. So before going to VB script, I request you all to open your Excel workbook in the same time, because whatever the practice sessions I will explain here, you have to practice on that time. Then only you can learn more about that and you can understand it. So how to open Excel file? So you can use it by clicking on this or press Windows button and or it opens run command and type here Excel. Okay. So after opening the Excel, you cannot see the developer tab defaultly. So I given you already how to activate developer tab material document. So in 2013 and 2010, the same procedure you can follow for activate developer tab by clicking options. So click on this and go to customize ribbon, and you have to defaultly this is like this unselected. So you have to toggle developer menu. So I'm untoggle this and okay. Now see developer tab is not there. So I'm again activating the developer tab. Customize ribbon, developer tab. Okay. Then developer tab is activated. So click on the developer tab and you have to change the macro securities. So defaultly the macro settings is disable all macros with notifications. So select enable all macros not recommended, this option, and click on OK, because whenever you open this file again next time, it will continuously ask you about macro enable file you want to continue or not. So for avoid those type of error messages and security warnings, you have to click on this. And one more option is in ActiveX settings, select the fourth option, enable all controls. Then OK. If you are using 2007 mode, that means here you can see one button that is called Windows menu button, and click on file, the right side options, and I will show you from my document. So in 2007 versions, you have to toggle this third button in popular section. Toggle show developer tab in the ribbon so that you can enable developer tab. Okay, so let's discuss about our first topic. Activate developer tab is already done, and macros settings, enable all macros, done. Now about code window. So you can open the code window by clicking on this button or pressing Alt F11. Hold the Alt button and press F11 key. Alt F11 or click on this button. This is called code window. So, and here you can see Project Explorer and Properties window. Project Explorer shows us totally what are the sheet names are there and the workbook properties, and if you create modules or user forms, you can see the all the information here. And properties window for the change the properties of the objects like user forms, controls and sheets, everything. For example, this one now it is showing settings for sheet 1. So sheet 1, enable selection, name, you can change, rename it from by using this one as well. And visible, Excel visible. If you select hidden, that sheet should be hidden, or if you select very hidden, you cannot unhide that sheet from Excel workbook. You have to avail visible that sheet again from here only. And about module. So we can write our VB script in sheets properties and workbooks properties as well, and we can use methods and these things. But what is my suggestion? We have to create model to write the code to connect other applications and everything, and we can use that code globally. So that how to insert module, we go insert button, insert menu and click on module, or mouse right click on here, insert module. We can follow any one of these, or shortcut key is Alt IM. If I press Alt and I, insert menu open, M for module. Now here you can see the module created, and you can change the module name by using properties. I am writing here learn macros without space. So here we have some conditions to write a naming modules and user forms and sub procedures and function procedures. So I will tell you the concept whenever we discuss in sub procedure. And here we can write VBA code. So this is code window or macro window. So what is the difference between macro and this one? So by using macro, we can record the record macro. That means we can set up our all regular work, and we can record it and we can play it later. And we can use user forms and controls, ActiveX controls, everything. And VB script, Visual Basic Application script, we use here to write our code. So in module, we can use two types of sub procedures. Totally, we have the sub procedures only two. Procedures So the first procedure, sub procedure, and second one, function procedure. So by using function procedure, it will return one value. Sub procedure can't. By using sub procedure, we can activate menus information. We can use menus information, or uh, we can connect external applications like SQL or Oracle or any other MS Office applications, Word, PowerPoint, anything. So regularly we use sub procedure for doing our process. So here let's discuss about the sub procedure first. So how to start sub procedure? Sub procedure every time start with sub keyword space then name of the procedure. So I'm giving here the name practice 1. Open and close bracket, enter. In between sub 1 and sub, we have to write and we have to design our coding part. So for naming sub procedures and modules and function procedures, we have to follow some rules. So I'll discuss the rules first. So before that, here one thing, single quotation makes a line as comment. That means it won't execute, it won't interrupt our code. So by putting single quotation before the coding, then we can write any type of commands. So I'm writing the conditions to naming procedure. The first one, don't use space. So let's see if I use space, what it will be happen. So sub practice space 2, enter. Expected end of statement. So it won't allow you spaces. Second one, don't start procedure name with numbers. One, two, three, macro. Expected identifier. The third one, don't use special characters. So that means sub macro star VBA. Expected end of statement. So star or as at the rate everything don't use here. So what are the special characters we have? Except A to Z and 0 to 9 numbers, remaining all keyboard symbols considered as special characters in this scenario, not in all scenarios. So don't use other special characters and exceptional underscore. You can use underscore character. So that means sub chiru underscore macro open and close bracket enter. It should actually clear. Then don't use name if it is already exists. That means we have one procedure like Chiru. So we are trying to naming that again in the same module. So it won't accept duplicate procedure names. So here I didn't get any error message, but whenever I try to execute the macro, I will get error. It won't allow me to execute. So for execute and getting the result in macro, we can click on this button or F5. Ambiguous name detected. So we need some small change. For example, this is Chiru2. Now that is okay. Yeah. So these are the things we need to follow whenever we change the name to module or sub procedure name or function procedure name or variable names. Let's start our sub procedure. Sub practice 1 open close bracket enter. Okay. So procedures are two types, sub and function procedure. So naming parameters, what are the things, do's and don'ts. And now coming to declaration types. So sometimes we need to declare some variable to store some data, some numbers or dates or strings or anything, objects, sheets or worksheets. So we need variables to store the data. So here we have to check what are the declaration types, how to declare the variable. So we can use dim keyword to declare the variable. For example, dim a as integer. In this scenario, dim is declaration type, a is variable name, and integer is variable type. So we can name it any name, but we have to follow these conditions to variables as well. And most probably we use dim keyword to declare the variables, but we have 4 more declaration types. Declaration types: public, private, dim, static, constant. So this is called constant. So we have this 5 type of declaration types. So most probably we use dim keyword. Why we use dim keyword? Dim keyword set the variable values from defaultly whenever we start from again execute again and again. So let's check other variable types: dim, static, and constant. So how to declare static? Static be as integer and const c as string. Whenever we use constant declaration, we have to assign the value on that type. So c as 0. Now c represent 0. So these are the 3 types: dim, static, constant, called procedure level declaration type. Dim, static, constant, procedure level declaration type. And public and private. Private is module level, public is global. That means we can use any module. So how to declare public and private? We have to declare the top of the window. Public d as integer, private e as integer. Okay, so this e integer word we can use in any, we cannot use in any module, we can use it within this module. So this d is public variable, so we can use any module and any seed reference. Okay, so let's check about variables type like integer, strings. What about integer and what about string? So let's check numerical declarations. For numerical we have byte and integer, long, single and double. These are the numerical declaration types. So whenever we use these declaration types, you have to remember the capacity of the variables. See here, the byte storage size is 1 byte and range 0 to 255. That means we can store any value in byte up to 255 only. We cannot store the number greater than 255. Let's check it. In bt as byte, bt equal to 5. So this is 5 is 0 to 255 range, so it is acceptable. So how to get the result? By pressing F8 step by step we can evaluate the result, and we can directly click on this button. This is execute F5, direct execute button. So I'm doing F8 present, right? Now that is okay. bt is 5. Now let's try to store it to 56. F8 overflow. So overflow, whenever you get this overflow button, that means that variable cannot store that value because it cannot support end. Click on end. So byte capacity 0 to 255 and integer 2 bytes and minus 32,768 to 32,767. Then it is as integer. It is equal to, you can store it in integer variable positive or negative numbers. So I'm trying to store minus 32,000. Until 32,000 that is okay, but capacity of the integer should not cross 32,768 if it is negative. So if your value is more than that, you have to go for long. Dim ln as long. So long capacity, this one until 2 billions and storage size 4 bytes. So wherever your number is size is bigger, you have to go for the based on your size of the number. And here integer and long is integer type declaration and single and long float type declaration. Float type means here single and double accept decimals value, but integer and long won't accept decimals. For example, in integer I'm giving 32,000, this one and 55. So let's see F8, F8, F8. After pressing F8, move the cursor to here. Now see, that is 32,001. Integer or byte or long makes that number to nearest integer. This is reset button. Okay. In Sn as single. So in single and double, you can store decimals values as well. Sn equal to 1.56. F8. Now see Sn value 1.56. If you want to see any information in MsgBox to show to user, you have to use MsgBox command. So for MsgBox, MsgBox without space, MsgBox space. Here in prompt section, we have to type what the text you want to display. So whenever you write any text, any string, you have to put that text under double quotations. So start your double quotation and write your info. Sn variable value is space quotation. It I stop this message box until this part, what it will happen? So message box displays only SN variable value is. Now you want to display this SN value as well, that variable value as well. So one space and shift 7 ampersand and that variable name SN. Okay. Now execute it. SN variable value is 1.56 F8. So that is the difference between integer type and float type variables. Let's check how to declare text variables. Sub practice 3. Tim str as string. So by using string variable declaration, we can store text information into the variables. So str equal to text should be in double quotations. My first macro. Let's check that str information using message box. Message box str. Executing F8. My first macro. F8. Okay. And Boolean storage. Sub practice 4. Dim SS Boolean. So Boolean means we can store true or false statements. That means now if I try to store anything after s equal to, it show me false or true. Defaultly that s value is false. I am selecting true here. Message box S F8 true F8. So variable types, number variable declarations, text Boolean, now date and time declarations. Sub practice 5. Dim dt as date. So if you declare as date, that means that's you can store a date value or time value. For time and date is only one variable available here. So let's see what is the default value for date. Message box dt 12 AM it's displaying. Now dt equal to date 6/7/2015. So date is the keyword here to get today date, current system date. So what is the current system date? That should display here. And for time, getting time is the keyword. 4:34:33 IST. So that is for time, and dt equal to date, and dt equal to, now open bracket close bracket. Let's check what happens if I use now keyword. F8 first time, F8 next date, F8 date with time. Okay, if you use now command, that gives you date with time. And about variant variables. Dim I as variant, or you can declare something, for example dim a comma b comma c comma d as integer. Okay, so if you use this type of declaration, that means the last word is only applicable to the variable type. The rest of the variable names are considered as variants. So variant takes more VB memory. Let's set variant VB memory size. So 16 bytes normally with numbers, and 22 bytes with characters. Okay, so it's take more VB memory. Why we have to check this VB memory? For example, one macro is taking 1 hour time to execute it by using byte variable. Now that same macro will take 2 hours time by using integer, because that takes 2 bytes VB memory. So that is impact, that education time is impact whenever we use uh, this type of variables. So we have to check the size of memory size of the variables as well. So variants take more VB memory. So A, B, C also consider as variant, D only integer, and dim, J and present. Now you haven't specified here the what is the variable type, like as, after, integer or boolean or text. You haven't specified. That means the J also considered as variant. And sometimes without declaring any variables, you use some information, like for example Chiru equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now Chiru also considered as variant. MsgBox Chiru F8 1, 2, 3. So without declaring the variables, we can use that variable names. So those are considered as variants. So this type of variants take more VB memory. So if you want to restrict the variable variants without a declaration, you have to use in the top of the module option explicit. If you use option explicit word, then you cannot execute this macro. So F8 variable not defined. So we have to declare, then only that will accept. So making comment this one, F8 variable not defined. So it won't allow you without declaration any variable. So this is the better way. Whenever you write the code, use option explicit keyword. Yeah. Now sheets and workbook declarations. Sub practice 7 dim sh wb as workbook, dim sh as worksheet. So now wb is workbook variable and sh is worksheet variable name. Now how to set that this same workbook into the wb and how to assign sheet 1 in sh variable. So wherever we assign variables objects into variables, we have to use set keyword. Set space variable name wb equal to the same workbook name I want to refer here. This workbook without space. Now it's automatically highlight T capital and W capital. Set W equal to this workbook. Let's check it WP referring this workbook or not by using MsgBox. MsgBox space WB dot name. WB dot name is equal to this workbook dot name. So if I execute by pressing F8, it displays the book name. The book name is book 1 because it is I haven't saved this one. Okay, F8. Now let's store sheet reference. Set sh equal to this workbook dot sheets open bracket under inverted quotes the sheet name. My sheet name is sheet 1. So sheet 1, enter. MsgBox sh dot name F8 first book name F8 next sheet name. Okay, so here without using this one we can use WB as well. Because already we stored this workbook in WB variable. So instead of this workbook, we can use WB dot sheets of sheet 1. Book 1, sheet 1. Right? So this is the procedure to store the object. Workbook object or worksheet object or range or cells or pivots or charts. These are all called as objects. Now working with cells. Now, for example, if you want to write or if you want to take any cells information, you can use cells command or range command. Let's see how to use from cell command. For example, I want to write in this cell address is E column 12th row. So what is the row number? 12th. What is the column number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth column and the 12th row. So here I want to write a value. For example, 1, 2, 3 value I want to write it here in this cell by using macro coding. Let's see. Cells, open bracket, row index and column index. Let's see here the syntax, row index and column index. What is the row index? Here 12. So 1, 2, comma. What is the column index? I want in E column. Column number is 5. 5 equal to, what is the value I want to assign in that cell? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now F8, F8, F8. Now it should come display 1, 2, 3 here. F8. Right. And how to store the text into the cells? For example, in the same row, 6th column. Macros. So text should be under double quotation. F8, 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 F8. How macros also came here. Okay. The same procedure you can do by using range command. Now I'm deleting this two. Come into VBA code window, and now cells 12, 5. That means what is the range name? E12, E column 12th row. Range in double quotation E12, double quotation close. So the range E12 is equivalent to this one. And how to write this one? Range. Now that is my F column, F12. Macros. Executing. Okay. The same activity did cells command and macro range command. So what is the difference between cells and range? Using cells command, we can connect only single cell. We can specify only single cell. We can work with single cell. We cannot at a time in multiple cells using cells, but using range command we can work with multiple cells. So how it is? Let's see. range A10 is to B15 equal to 10. So range A10 is to B11. That means A10 B15. So B15. So this is the range. So what we are saying here equal to 10. That means this macro store 10 value in this range. F8 C. So using range command we can work with multiple cells at a time, and we have so many models in range, splitting the range like by using comma here and using cells command also there. So those are considered into advanced part. So here let's make only one this example. Difference between cells and range also over. Message box okay. Then input box. So practice 11. Dim nm as string, dim ag as integer. So nm as string, ag as integer. In nm I can store text, in ag I can store numbers. So input box. What is the use of input box? So we can take user inputs. We can take user inputs using input box command. So how to use input box? Whenever we take the user commands, user inputs, we have to store that information that time only in variables. So I want to take user name first. Nm equal to input box, open bracket, double quotation, my message to user, please enter your name. That is my message. Close bracket, enter. So this input box takes user input and stores in nm. So I want to display that same information in message box to user that time as well. Message box hi space double quotation ampersand nm. Now what is my output I will get in message box? Hi, that input box result. Let's check it by pressing F8. F8 input box. Now this is input box. Here you can write any information. So it is asking me, please enter your name. So I am entering my name. Chiranjeevi Kudupudi. Okay. Now nm gives Chiru Kudupudi. Message box display totally hi Chiru Kudupudi. F8 hi Chiranjeevi Kudupudi. F8. Now at a time after asking the username, I want to ask user is. So this is for username, and next one for user is. That user is I want to store in ag variable. Age equal to input box. Please enter your age. So the same ag value also I want to display in message box. Until this part, this message box displays hi Chiranjeevi Kudupudi. My name is Chiranjeevi Kudupudi by entering this box. And I want to display this age as well after this command. So space ampersand again. So what is the ampersand? Ampersand means that is concatenate. So concatenate means matching two words or two variables information. So it's combine the information. So ampersand uh, your age is space quotation ampersand ag. Now if I execute this macro, first input box asks me my name and second input box asks me my age. F8 first input box, enter. Second input box, enter. Now this message box display hi, this one, your age is, and this one. F8 hi Chiranjeevi Kudupudi. Now your age is 29. Now see here no gap is there because after this one we are concatenate directly without space. So here make one space. For example here John, enter. F8 age is 54, enter. F8 hi John, your age is 54. Okay, so this is the use of input box. We can take user inputs, and based on the user inputs we can automate our process. So I'm giving you the how can we use the functionalities like input box or message box or range or cells. How can we use? First we have to aware of it. Now formatting section, cell fields, modify font types, and this one. So for example, you have something, some words. We want to do something on this total range. First, you want to match these two cells and want to write month names like here. Selecting these two and match month names. So this is your object, you want to do it. So how to do it? By using macro code. So practice 12. What is the range? So let's use range command for doing this one. H5 to I5. Range H5 is to I5. H5 is to I5, that is okay. What is my object here? I want to match this. Dot. So after pressing the dot, you can see here this is called objects list. So browser properties browser. By pressing F2 as well, we can check that all objects. So these are all commands are displaying for what are the applicable to using with range command. So what is the thing I need here? Match. So simply type M E match. It will come. Press tab. Then you can activate it. Match. Range H5 is to I5 is match. Now these are two are single cells. Now executing this. F8. Now this is single cell right now. At the same time, I want to write one word there. Equal to month names. F8. So month names also came, but this is in left side. If you want to make it in middle, you have to use horizontal alignment. This one, horizontal alignment. So range H5 dot horizontal alignment equal to Excel center. So Excel center is for middle alignment, Excel left is for left alignment, Excel left for left alignment, and Excel right for right alignment. So Excel center for middle alignment. Now executing again, F8. This is middle. Okay. So I need some difference between the heading and the remaining information. So I want to make this heading, the size I want to make it as 16. Then I want to change that name style as Algerian, and I want to keep it in bold section, and I want to make one background color and font color. I want to change the font color and background color as well. Let's check it. Alt F11. Range H5 dot name equal to Algerian. Execute it. F8. Sorry, font name is Algerian. Only directly name means that is name range. Month names. Okay. Now we have to change the size of the font. Range h5 dot font dot size equal to, I'm giving 18. Okay, F8. Font size is 18 right now. Now let's change background color. Range h5 dot font dot color index equal to 3. So in color index code we can use 1 to 56 colors. We have different type of colors. So for 3 we will get some one color. So that is red. 3 means red. If it is 4 means that is green. Okay. And let's change background color. That means this one. For background color, the code is interior. Range h5 dot interior dot color index equal to 5. F8. So fifth one is blue color. Like that we have for every one number one color. So check it in your free time. And next one, what we have to do, I want to apply borders for entire this range. So what is my range? H5 to I18. Range H5 is to I18 dot borders dot line style equal to Excel continuous. So this is the code for applying the borders. So line style Excel continuous means the same line by line it will come, and we can use Excel dot and Excel thick. Like that we have some other coding parts. We can check that other coding part by using record macros. We can aware it. So let's check this one, F8. Borders applied. Yeah. And for example, sometimes we have to adjust the columns. The same code I want to copy it until this one, Control C and paste here, Control V dot columns dot auto fit for adjust these columns. Append. So this is consider based on this one. For example, if I write here any big information, Chiranjeevi. Now this is based on this information as well, it will work. What is the code from H5 to I11? Okay, considering only this part, H6 to I22. Okay, so this is the depended on this one. For example, if I make the like this, now this cell need more space. It's auto fit every time that based on the cell contents. Yeah. Let's check next one. So horizontal and vertical alignment. For vertical alignment, we have to use vertical alignment and Excel center and Excel. I will write some commands. Vertical alignment. That means one example for that. Dot vertical alignment equal to Excel top. So Excel top for this one, this is Excel center and this is Excel bottom. Those are the commands to change as vertically. Next, coming to loops. So loops are very important thing in our macro VBA coding part. So we have totally that loops, for loop and do family loops. We have two different types of loops. Those are the first one for family and second one do family. So from per family we have for next loop and second one for each next condition, and from do family do while loop, do loop while, and while when, do until loop, do loop until. So these are the total loops, totally 7. So we don't discuss these 6 parts, we discuss only the per next in this session. So how to use the per information. answer. Practice 13. Dim I as integer. First start with for same and space variable name I space equal to 1 to 10. After this one we can use step command. So that step command is different. I am not telling about the step command in this session. So and for loop should be and with next keyword next and space variable name. This is the syntax for using for command for next. So for I equal to 1 to 10, what is this meaning? Actually, in our previous practice procedures, we stored any value in only single value only. But here, one I equal to 1, that means I start from 1 and end with 10. I value repeat, continuously repeat from 1 to 10. First value I1 and I2, I3, I4, it's end with 10. That is the loop. So until reach the maximum value, the for loop continuous. So in between for and next, what are the things we write? Those are continuous until this loop break. So I want to display this I value in message box. Message box I F8 message box 1 F8 message box 2 F8. So it will continue until reach 10. Now this loop breaks. Go to answer. Done. Okay. So it's repeat until the reach 10. Now let's take it how to get serial numbers into Excel workbook. For example, I want serial numbers from L1 to L10. Change the procedure name because this is repeated and for I equal to 1 to 10. Okay, message box. So instead of message box, we have to write that command. So I want to store in L1 cell 1, L2, 2, L3, 3, L4, 4. So like that serial numbers I want it. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that 10. So by using loop, how to get it? So what is the cells command for this one? L1. L1 means what is the row number 1 and what is the column number 12. And for this row number 2, column number 12. Row number 3, column number 12. So our column is constant but row is variant. That is changing, keep on changing. So that's the reason we are using in cells command. Row is not constant, so I'm using this variable I, comma, column index is 12. My column is L, that is constant, equal to in cells I comma 12. So the first I value is 1, cells 1 comma 12 means L1. So in L1, what is the value I want to replace it? I want to store the I value. So what is I value? 1. Now in the first instance, the loop gives you stores in L1 cell 1. Let's check it. F8 1. The second instant, now I value is 1. If I press F8, that will get 2. Now cells 2 comma 12. That means L2 equal to 2. F8 2. Like that, I will get the serial numbers. F8 okay. So this is okay, and what are the how many serial numbers we want, we can write here the number. And for example, we need the serial numbers column wise from N1 to V1. Let's check how to do that one as well. Control C, Control V, change the name of the procedure. So now here our row is constant but column is different. Our row is 1 but column is N, O, P. Let's make it in numbers. What is the N value? N value is 14 from A. 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. This is the 14th value, and 14 to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 14 to 22. Now this one is 14 to 22. And the row is constant 1, column is not constant, that is variable I. Okay. So 1 comma I represent N1 cell, okay, but I is 14. But here I don't want 1, I don't want 14, I want 1. So how can I get it? So this I value giving me 14, so if I subtract with minus 13, that means I will get 1. So with by using this value, this logic, I can get serial numbers column wise. F8 okay. So from variables we can do any mathematical operations using minus symbol or plus symbol and multiply symbol, slash, anything, any mathematical operations can do it. And how to do crossing, like here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I want to make the serial numbers crosswise. For example, I am creating one more sheet, adding one more sheet, and here I want to implement that one. Sub practice 16 in I as integer for I equal to 1 to 10. Next I cells. Now what is row number, what is column number here? So I want the first value in A1 cell 1, okay, and second value in B2 cell 2, okay, and 3 C3 cell, and 4 here, and 5 here, like that 10. So what is my row number here? Row number is not constant, and as well as column number also not constant. It's keep on changing, so that my row number is I and column number also same thing, I close bracket equal to, and what is my result value? that is also I. Then only I can get this type of serial numbers in cross. F8. Yes. So I got the numbers like this. Okay. And let's make it how to do numerical, alphanumerical series. How to get alphanumerical series. Okay, I want to get my alphanumerical like EMP1, EMP2, EMP3 until 10 in M column. So what is the M column number? 13. So if you don't know the column number, by using column formula you can get it. Column open bracket, close bracket, enter. So column number is 13. Cells. So I want to start my alphanumerical one from M1. So row number is I because that is variable, and column number is constant, that is M column number is 13 equal to, I want EMP and 1. EMP and 1. So text should be under inverted quotes, EMP under quotation and EMP and 1. So ampersand I. EMP1, EMP2, EMP3. Okay, like that we can get alphanumerical series. We can combine any text and any value. Not only series, we can sometimes we need some summarizing information and averaging information or count of the percent, anything. So we have to write like this. So what is the text you want and what is the value you want to display after the text. Yeah. Then let's check what is the next topic. So serial numbers creating using loop, getting number series done, alphanumerical series done, and sample mathematical operations. So that means, for example, we have some values from here. Month names, and total sales. So I need some random total sales. So I'm using rand between formula to get some scrap data. So I want some random values from 1000 to 2000. So by using rand between formula, I will get some scrap information between 1000 to 2000. And these numbers keep on change whenever I enter any value into other cells, or calculating the seed. For example, pressing F9 we can calculate the seed, so it's automatically change these values. So I don't want to keep on change these values, so I am copying this one and making as values. So same here, alt E S V. Now these are all constant, it won't change anytime. Okay, total sales for the month and target value. So for example, let's say target value for every month 1500. Now what we have to do, what is the difference between this one and this one? Some simple mathematical thing. So just I want to check it. Is it what is the difference between total sales and this one? Difference. So I want to calculate the simple operation like this one minus this one. Total sales minus target value. I need in difference cell. That means from S6 to S17. Yeah. So I have to start my loop. Sub practice 18. So from where I have to start? 6th row and with 17. Dim is integer for I equal to 6th row to 17. Next I. What I want to do here? So this value minus this value. That means cells this value minus cells this value. What is the cells command here? Cells variable I comma q number. What is the q number? So if you don't know, use column formula to get it. Column, that is 17. R value is 18. Here you want the result in 19th row. So cells, what is the row number? I, comma, what is the column number? You want that difference in S column, that is column number is 19. 19, close bracket, equal to, what do you want here? Cells I comma 17 minus cells I comma 18. So in cells I comma 19 stores, what is the result for this one? I cells I comma 17 minus cells I comma 18. 17 minus this one. So what is the value here? F8. F8. Okay. So the difference will come here. So this is positive and this is negative. This is negative and this is positive. Like that, we have some differences. Okay, difference is okay, but I want to check here the target value is achieved or not. If it is achieved, as otherwise no. That text would be I want to display in T column. That means here status. In status column, I want to check that total sales is greater than target value. Then I want yes, otherwise no. But here it is not exceed, so it is no. Here also the same way, no. This is also yes, no. And this one yes, achieved, so yes. This one yes. Like that, I want to make it status by using macro code. Alt F11. the same one you can copy it, paste it. Now I value 6 to 17, that is constant, okay. And what is where your result you need? You need in 20th column, okay. And you have to check is it target total sales is greater than target value or not. So if you want to check any conditions, you have to use if condition to check the condition. Okay, so greater than and less than and greater than equal to and less than equal to and this one. These are all are called logical operators. So by using these logical operators, we will get true or false statement. For example, equal to this one, greater than this one. False. I'm driving this one. Yeah. So this is not achieved. Yes, this is achieved like that. So instead of false, I want no. Instead of true, I want yes. So here I need if condition to do that performance. If cells I comma 17 is greater than cells I comma 18. Okay, that is our condition. If condition end with then keyword here, then enter. Now what is our condition? Cells I comma 17 is greater than symbol and cells I comma 18. That means this one is greater than this one. If it is okay, then where we want yes command here. If it is satisfied the condition here, we want yes, otherwise no. So if it is satisfied in 20th cell, what is the text we want? Yes. If command end with end if, that is compulsory end space if. So I don't have here false statement, only true statement. I have only here true statement. Let's check with true statement first. Not satisfied. Not satisfied. Not satisfied. Yes, satisfied. Yes. So it gives us only if it is true. Otherwise, it won't give us information for false. So how to make the false statement as well? So if and condition, then keyword and true statement. And if it is not correct, if you want to make any false statement, then use else command. Else, enter cells I comma 20 equal to no. Then you will get no command as well. F8. in if conditions, by using if conditions we can check the logicals, and we can use equal to symbol, and this is non-equal to and less than equal to and greater than equal to, less than or greater than. By using these operators we will get only true or false statements. So in if condition, if you use any of these operations or any formulas, if it is gives you the Boolean information like true false, you can use it in if condition. So if it is condition is true, if condition is true, what is the condition specified here? That condition is true, we will get this answer, otherwise this answer. And we can write more statements here, and after this, if you want it anything, you can write it here, and after that we can continuously write some more statements. Here we don't have limitation, and in Excel we can write for only one single condition, we can make it only one single statement, but here we can write it more statements. And let's see what is the nested if and if. Okay, and let's make it this sales with the grouping. So what is the group information to sales? For example, minimum ranges and maximum range. So tax, let's say tax calculation based on the total sales. Here tax. So what is the minimum range? If sales is 0 to 1100, then tax is, let's say, 10. Now sales group is 1100 1 to 1300, let's say 20. 1300 1 to 1600 30. 1600 1 to 1900 40, and 1900 1 greater than any value, that is 50. Okay, so this is our sales information. We have to calculate tax. Okay, so for calculating status, we have only one condition. We have to check total amount is greater than target value or not. But for calculating tax, we have multiple conditions, minimum range to maximum range. Some slabs are there to calculate the tax based on the total sales. So how to do this? So we can use nested if condition for doing this one. Let's check how to do for only one single cell. After that we can implement it in for loop. Sub practice 20 if what is the cell 17 row and 6th column, cells 6 comma 17 6 comma 17 means this one. We can use less than symbol by using these symbols. So less than 11, less than or equal to 1100, or we can make it from here. Less than or equal to less than 1101, less than 1101. Then where we want to get the information, in this cell. What is the column name? Number 21. Cells 6 comma 21 equal to 10. Ending. So here this one is for only single condition. Now it will check only for if it is less than 1100. Now this condition won't satisfy here because that is not less than 1100. So let's check with another condition, is it less than 1301 as well. So for that, what we can do after this, else if, without space, else if cells 6 comma 17 less than next value 1301, then cells 6 comma 17 equal to, what is the result we want? 20. Now let's check this value. This is also it won't satisfy. F8 not satisfied. Now checking this condition as well, not satisfied. And if, yeah, let's check this statement as well. Copy this 2 lines, Control C, Control V, and then change the condition 1601. Value 30. F8 not satisfied. This one satisfied because the values total sales is 1403 is under less than 1601. F8. Now 30 will come at, oh sorry, this one should be 21. F8. Okay, 30 value will come here. And we have another statement, we have to check is it less than 1900 or not. So copy this same thing and paste it. $1900, then that is 40. That is okay. And the next statement, if this all conditions false, then else statement. What is the value? 50. So if any condition is satisfied, these four conditions are not satisfied, then this else statement applicable. So it gives you 50 value in this scenario. So, and that too, we are applied that information for only the single cell, 621 column. So let's apply this for entire range. So for that we need for loop support. So in is integer for I equal to from 6th row to 17th row. 17 and make it after ending next I, and we have to change here, instead of 6 we have to use I because row number is not constant. Okay, check it. F8 so like that you will get the information until this part. Okay, so this is exactly 1101, that's why we got the tax information 20. Yeah, so condition if else if condition. Now about controls. So coming to controls, we need developer tab to do that one, and in this insert control section, click on it. This is form controls, this is active controls information. So form controls and ActiveX controls. Let's make what is the difference between this one. We will check it. Now we have code for tax calculation, that is practice 20. I'm changing this name is tax calculation, tax underscore calculation. Okay, and we have so many procedures here like practice 19, 18, 16, like that. So that all procedures names we can see by clicking this macros button. So macros, then we can see that all practice sessions, sub procedures information, and we can execute it by clicking on this button, or we can edit that code by selecting that one, and we can delete that sub procedure as well. Okay, and by using the form controls, the first one is command button. I'm click on that and drag here. Automatically that box will come. We have to assign, we have to select the macro procedure for that. So what is the procedure name you have to assign to that button? Tax calculation. So select tax calculation. Okay, this is okay, and after that now click on here and change the name. run macro or tags calculate or only tags or something, any name you want. Then click on any other cells to deactivate that. If you wish to assign that macro in that time, you can simply right click on it and assign macro. You can assign it. If you forget to assign in first instance, okay. And I am deleting this information. Yes, I already assigned that code to this one. Now, if I click on this one, that information I will get, right? So the same way, I want to take ActiveX control command button. If it is ActiveX control command button, it won't ask you to assign any macro because we can write it. ActiveX controls ask you can execute macro coding itself. Double click on it simply and it will go to that sheet reference command button 1. Now change the command button caption as calculate tags. Enter. Now alt tab. See, the name should be changed here. If you change here and that command button 1 name you want to change it, here you can write it like CMD or something. So here we can write our code directly itself. So I want to copy the code from here and I want to implement that. So in tax calculation, what are the info I have without sub procedure from dim to next type. Copy and double click on sheet 2, control B. So here ActiveX control is not dependent, it is individual. So if you click on this button, it gives you the result. Click on any other button and now here you cannot execute it because this is in design mode. So click on this and click on design mode. Now you can execute that information. Tags, if I click on tags, I will get tags information here. Tags, right? Okay. So by using form controls, so these are dependents on other sub procedures, but ActiveX controls individually can run and can call other macros. And as well, for example, that name is tax calculation, right? Copy. So you don't want to write any code here. So just simply delete it and paste that name. So somebody write as call space this one, that is not required. So just simply copy the procedure name and leave it. So it gives you, it's execute this procedure name. So deleting these values, calculate tax button, call our procedure, tax calculation procedure. So it will work like that as well. And let's see some other controls like combo box. So in combo box, you can add some values by mouse right clicking on it and form control, and in input range, type any range here, like here. And cell link, you can give it and cannot, that is optional here. Okay. What is happen now, if you select any word, you can select any information from that list. If you select that list, what is the list number, that will you can see in next section. Like the way you can use list box. Mouse right click, form control, input range, this one, and cell link, this one. Okay. Now any other cell, you can select any one from the list, and you can see the index number to that list. Based on this number, using some Excel formulas, you can may do automations. Okay. And like that, here we have some controls, checkbox for giving yes or no information, or some courses information like selecting macros and Excel, like that. Okay, so now you can select any other things, and you can select any multiple, and you can change the name. Yeah, so come on. Checkboxes allows you to check multiple options, and you can check all options. And if you use option buttons, you can select only single cell. Okay, so like that we have some controls. You can check it in your free time, and if you click on this one button, you will get more controls here. So these are all controls we have in this Excel. Okay, so I have SAP installation, so SAP also I can connect from Excel. So those type of classes also I can use it here. So, and we can store add-ins, and we can get some information, some other controls, and we can make it directly controls. Or if you install VB Visual Basic into your system, calendar and times related controls also will come, and so that you can select the date by using calendar option. So like that options also you can get, so that you need VB6 installation into your system. Okay, and before that, this book is not saved. Anytime we have to save our macro workbook as save as in desktop, macro practice file. The save as tab should be macro enable workbook. Save. So the extension is XLSM, macro practice file. XLSM is the extension. And our last topic about record macro. So this is until now we used VB coding. Now we are doing record macro. Record macro or record everything what we are doing in our Excel. Let's check it. So Now click on developer and record macro, start record macro, name the record macro name like anything checking and some information, and store macro in personal macro workbook, not this workbook. So this should be this workbook. Personal workbook means whenever you use your office systems, personal macros also one add-in also there. So it will store there. So that is not useful to you. So you have to select this workbook information, and if you want to type any description about this macro, you can write it. And you can assign some shortcut key to this execute this macro, like Control Shift P is the capital P, and if you press that one Control P, then it automatically executes that macro. So I'm not giving the shortcut key here. Okay. So I started my recording. Now you can see here this symbol is start recording macro, and we have to stop this whenever we want to stop the macro. So what are the things I will do here? Those all the steps will record it. So for example, here I'm writing some information, month, name I given, and John I given, and enter and selected, and I drag in that value. So I want to see the macro coding part for this one. Stop recording. Now click on this button, checking edit button. This is the coding part recorded inside. So first what I did, ActiveX dot formula R1C1 month. Next I selected D9 and given John. Next D9 selected and autofill dragged information, and this is selected and this one selected. Everything should be recorded. For example, again I am doing other record macro. This workbook macro 2. Yeah, macro 2 okay for me. And now what I am doing, I am scrolling down and scrolling this side and this side. Okay, and selected some cells. Okay, stop recording. Macro to edit. So if you scroll down or scroll column wise, anything should be recorded. So don't do any scrolling and do anything while you do record macro. And in record macro, by using record macro, what it will happen if you do anything, if you apply any format or something, it will give you all properties for that one. For example, I am applying all borders for this same cell. That is only I want to check it what is the code for. Stop recording. Macro 3 edit. So this is the code for applying the borders in a single cell only. This much of code it gives you. So we don't require this total code. Selection dot borders dot diagonal down and diagonal up. This one. No need. So what I used in my previous code for giving that information, for applying the borders, borders dot line style equal to Excel continuous. Model 2 line style equal to Excel continuous. Okay, so we can use directly dot borders and after that Excel continuous, because we no need to check Excel diagonal down and up arrow and what is the left side side and everything we don't require, and color information and font information, pin information not required. It gives you all properties for that cell. So that's why whenever you use with record macro, you will get a lot of code. You have to reduce that code to execute your macro in a simple manner. And it will take more time to execute it if you use continuously record macro only. Okay. And whenever you don't know the coding part for applying bold or font color or any some other color, record it and check the code, what is the code, and take that as that line and implement it in your coding part. Yeah. So that is about record macros. So now this is the time for questions and answers. I'll give you the access to ask me the questions. Okay.